Hey guys, what's up? It's Dan Weimerger here, CEO of Morpheus.Network, here with another AMA. Some great questions from the community. Really excited for this one, as I am for all of them. They're always great questions. So without further ado, let's push ahead with some of these great questions here. So, okay, first question here. Will the liquidity program last for more than 60 days? As a trial for long-term liquidity incentives for onboarding LPs, Morpheus platform. Great question. Yeah, right now, the program, as you mentioned, has been set for 60 days. Now, we're keeping a close eye on that program, obviously. And, I'm not going to say that the door is shut on extending it for 60 days. So we are keeping our options open. But I will say that we are keeping our close eye on it to make sure that it's functioning properly and doing what we need it to do. So thank you for that question. But at this moment, it is set for 60 days. So thank you. Can Morpheus.Network integrate GS1 standards? If so, can you explain how this will work? Yeah, most definitely. Great question. First of all, I'll tell you, a little bit about GS1. GS1 is a nonprofit organization. What they do is they develop and maintain standards for businesses to communicate through. Most often it's barcode scans. So yes, a barcode scan as a trigger within the platform. Right now we've built in, QR code scans, RFID, NFC, even using an IoT device to follow around a physical asset to set off, an automated objective within an automated workflow. So yeah, most definitely using those GS1 standards being built into the platform depends on the use case, but most definitely, yes. Thank you. Great question. All right, next question. I see you guys were selected for the plug and play program. What became of that? You guys bringing clients to the platform with the plug and play accelerator program. Yes, plug and play has been amazing. What people maybe don't know is that we've actually been a part of 3 different plug and play events. The one that I did back in 2019, time with this pandemic has just gone like crazy. 2019, going down into California. Really was an amazing time. Made some amazing contacts, still obviously in very close contact with those contacts down in Silicon Valley. Spent some amazing time with Noam, my close friend and co-founder, as well as Carl McDermott. We actually rented a house down in the heart of Silicon Valley, and the 3 of us actually got to stay there at an Airbnb that was walking distance, from the actual plug and play building itself. So great event. We did a plug and play event in Toronto. That was a webinar that Carl was a part of as well. Really great contacts we've met, and we'll be most definitely working with more plug and play contacts, and with plug and play itself, I'm sure we'll do more events in the future. So great question. And it brings back all those amazing memories of Silicon Valley. So thank you for that. To date, what is the biggest thing that you're most proud of? Yes, that is a general question. I'd say obviously the thing I'm most proud of is my 7-year-old son, watching him grow up from being a newborn, an infant, a toddler, all the steps along the way. So, every milestone your child takes is a huge thing that you're proud of, when they can talk, when they can walk, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's what I'm most proud of. If we're talking about, specifically about Morpheus, obviously we've done some amazing projects, have amazing clients, amazing partners, amazing team as well. But really what comes to my mind, most definitely is Noam Epple, my co-founder. Obviously going, into the project and the start of the project, we were friends. We grew up together. He lived actually in Taiwan, so we were buddies from across the world. But now obviously we deal, with each other every single day throughout the day. I seriously consider him, as close as any family member. He is a brother of mine for life. And I'm so proud of the relationship that we forged through this project. So thank you for that. Has the coronavirus affected business for Morpheus.Network, either positively or negatively? Yeah, great question. And obviously, COVID has impacted every business in multiple ways. There's different ways to look about it. So yeah, most definitely would we have liked to have a lot more face-to-face meetings with companies, in this past year. Of course, that wasn't permitted. It wasn't, we weren't able to do that. Even the year before COVID, we had some amazing lunch and learns along with Blockchain Guru, where we invite a whole bunch of different organizations to learn about what we're doing with new technologies. Those were amazing. You meet so many different contacts, as well as obviously the enjoyment of, discussing the technologies themselves. So, but nonetheless, this year actually has been an amazing year for us. We've had some great business advancements and progress. Now I know that COVID has been a very, trying time and terrible time for a lot of people. So I seriously feel like we're, us at Morpheus Network and the entire team, we're extremely lucky. We're healthy, we're happy, we're able to grow the business. So obviously in comparison to a lot of people who are having a difficult time through the pandemic, we're doing extremely well. And obviously also, specifically on a supply chain side, companies are noticing the issues in supply chain during COVID even more so. It puts a magnifying glass on those problems in supply chain. So a lot of our projects have accelerated based on COVID causing these issues for these companies. So yes, definitely positives and negatives based on COVID. Next question. Okay, I was curious if MRPH could expand on ways it is safe from the SEC and regulation pressure. Great question. I'd rather not get into details on that specifically. What I will say is that we've been extremely careful and conservative in all our dealings. Some might even argue, overly conservative, but I think that our approach, to all those regulations have been as careful as possible. They've been a high priority the entire time from the project, from before the token sale and throughout. So we continue to maintain that as a high priority regulation standard. So thank you for that. Please share the short-term roadmap for Q1, Q2 of 2021, specifically the tokenomic aspect, liquidity, so on and so forth. Okay. Our plans for the first half of 2021 are much the same as the past. It's growing out the business, growth of the Morpheus Network platform, adoption of the platform itself. Obviously, we put a ton of focus on these real world businesses, our clients, and in regards to tokens, the utility of the token is actually used specifically based on growing out the business with these companies. Pushing transactions through the platform, the more transactions that we have running through the platform, the more the necessity of that utility token is needed. So when it comes to that tokenomic aspect and what we're doing at the beginning of this year, continually growing to push the utility of that token directly related to the actual transactions of our clients running through the platform. So business growth, and we'll obviously be, keeping up with announcements and letting people know as things go on. So thank you for that. Will MRPH tools be also available in the SAP App Center? This has been discussed with the SAP team actually, and we are open to suggestion from the SAP go-to-market team. But once again, at this stage right now with SAP, we're working on a very specific project, and the App Center is not in our a direct crosshairs, I guess you could say. Have I understood correctly that all the transactions holding information about a product are updating 3 times a day to reduce gas fees? If this is correct, will this affect real-time data such as registering live temperature data in the truck? No, not at all, actually. We do a batch notarization to the mainnet. So whether it's 3 times a day or 2 times a day, whenever the batch is occurring, we wouldn't wait for a transaction to complete when, for that batch, it wouldn't be waiting for the batch to complete for a transaction to complete. That would never happen. It would happen in the sidechain instantaneously. There would never be a shipment, for example, stuck at the border, waiting for a mainnet transaction to complete in order to let that shipment cross the border. It would all be done automatically and instantly. And that batch is done afterwards to make sure that there's no congestion, with the mainnet itself. So thank you for that question. How does the Morpheus team look on their future roles of the ordinary small investor supporting the project? Our focus really is, as I mentioned before, building the business and driving real business through the platform. The more business we drive to the platform, the more transactions we process, that directly relates to the use of the utility token, held by a holder, a large or small, doesn't matter. The utility itself of the token itself is pushed through the platform based on those transactions. So thank you for that. Hi, Dan. How long do you plan to run the liquidity program for? Once again, it is 60 days in total is what it's set for right now. It's 4 cycles of 15 days each. So please do look up the Medium post, the announcement, which gives you the exact dates and times, and make sure you register properly and so on and so forth. So thank you for that. All right. Discuss the Chinese market and your new partnership. Yeah, the Chinese market obviously is a massive, massive market on a global scale. They do a ton of shipping out of China, container shipping. It's just absolutely crazy the volume that goes out of China. It's a huge market. I'm sure that people look at our Medium. We've done a whole bunch of different pilots in the past in China as well, working with some amazing companies. And our new partnership with Qingdao Maple Leaf who will serve as somewhat of a hub in China, similarly to working with Polaris.Network down in Argentina, or even Blockchain Guru and how they're working with us in Africa. Allowing us to connect to all these different companies and having some boots on the soil, some troops on the ground. Very important when it comes to growing out in a country. You can run tests and you can run demos and pilots, but when you're getting down to contractual situations, signing deals and so on and so forth, you need people on the ground. So having Qingdao Maple Leaf, on our team, a huge boon for us for sure. How are things progressing with FCL? Any plans to move into other verticals? Yeah, most definitely. Things are progressing extremely well with FCL. We've met with a few different of their business teams. And obviously, we're growing out the platform right now within their food and beverage side of things with their suppliers and their vendors. We have a couple different projects on the go right now with FCL. And it's definitely our intention to grow it out to other verticals with FCL. Obviously, they do a lot of work in oil and gas as well. And we love working with FCL. So why wouldn't we want to, grow out the functionality and platform use with our partners? So most definitely, we'll be looking to other verticals as we continue to grow it out in the food and beverage side as well. So how is the work with Baseline Protocol coming? Working with Provide or Unibright on a cross-border GitHub entry. Yes, there is that GitHub entry on the Baseline GitHub itself. They call them epics, of course. Now we've been working actually quite closely with the Provide team. Kyle from Provide has been great, but also Jack and David from Provide. This cross-border implementation is basically, exactly as it sounds, getting shipments across the border. There's some sensitive data involved in that cross-border shipment. So once again, using Baseline, being able to leverage the mainnet, but also keeping the data private, the sensitive data itself, very important. And also part of that question that Stefan from UBT has been involved in the talks as well. And we'll be pushing forward this implementation very, very soon. So I would look forward in the next few weeks for an announcement on progress with Morpheus and Baseline, most definitely, along with the Provide team and UBT. So update with the pet food company. Yes, most definitely. The pet food company, you must be referring to Vitalcan, which is the largest pet food provider in all of Argentina. I mentioned Polaris.Network before. The CEO and founder of Vitalcan is actually Jorge Marcos. He's a friend of mine now, and also obviously one of our partners and one of our clients as well with the Vitalcan. He also founded Polaris.Network, which is our partners in Argentina. And he's been actually doing, all the legwork with his team down in Argentina when it comes to the work with Senasa. Obviously, we've been supporting him on the development side and whatever needs to happen on the commercial side. But Jorge has been absolutely amazing in Argentina, when it comes to working with the government itself and also moving his company, Vitalcan, to leveraging the platform. So I can't thank, Jorge enough for all his hard work in Argentina, as always. I've thanked him before and I'll continue to thank him. So thank you for that question as well. And yeah, that's all the questions I have on my list today. The only other thing I wanted to mention is there's some great, talk in the Telegram channel that I pick up as well. And one thing I wanted to point out is that when it comes to any speculation or any projects we have on the go, until there's an official announcement from the team, that would be in our Morpheus.Network announcement channel on Telegram or a Medium post about it. It would have to come from the team itself. That all discussion of potential projects is all speculation until we come out with the actual announcement itself. So really great, all the different chatter and speculation that's out there. But once again, it has to be official when the team announces itself. So once again, that's it for the questions for the AMA. Any other questions that I didn't get to, once again, you can go on Reddit and continue asking those questions. We'll be continuing to do these. I plan to do some community AMAs for other communities as well, other groups. So look out for those. And whoever's watching, as always, guys, have a great day.